With the worldwide pandemic effing everybody's mojo and routine up, most of us have to resort to working from home, or coming up with new ways to do business and hustle in tough times. Most of us are lucky to have domiciles of our own, or even owning kitchens to cook food in, or even have means of ordering and receiving essentials onto your doorstep. Some of us are not so lucky. That really sucks, especially in Malaysia's extended MCO period. Which is why we applaud folks like the Lost Food Project, who rescue surplus food in Malaysia and give them to those in need. These folks adhere to a strict SOP for food handling and deliveries, and are usually on the clock in helping hungry poor folks out. All I'm saying is, if you can afford to buy a Switch right now, while also getting a copy of Final Fantasy VII Remake for your PS4, I'm very sure you can spend just a few minutes donating to these non-profit guys. So yeah, do help your fellow Malaysians out. It'll make you feel good, knowing you can aid organizations sticking their neck out in this period of need. With that said, on to the show. It's going to be a month or so until Hari Raya al-Fitr starts, which means the beginning of Ramadan, the holy month of Islam. To commemorate this occasion of holiness and eventual happiness, let's talk about the representations of various Muslim characters in video games. While many of them accentuate certain negative stereotypes, the following on this video buck that trend and show that Muslims can be portrayed in a positive or neutral light. Let's go. Zara Gufran. Battlefield 1 was unique among most FPS titles. It featured World War I as its primary setting, as well as a campaign that focused on different protagonists from various fronts of the war. One of those war stories starred a female Muslim protagonist of Arab Bedouin ethnicity named Zara Gufran. She participated in the Arab revolt against the Ottoman Empire. That story was groundbreaking, portraying a strong female Muslim in the leading role. She works alongside T.E. Lawrence, aka the Lawrence of Arabia. She ends up being instrumental in destroying the armored train Canavar and weakening the Ottomans' foothold in Saudi Arabia. In short, she's pretty badass. Altair. There have already been 11 mainline Assassin's Creed titles in the franchise, including many spin-offs so far. However, the star of the original 2007 game remains a fan favorite, arguably second only to the more popular Ezio Auditore da Firenze. Although Altair never professed to be Muslim in any of the games throughout the series, he was born to a Syrian Muslim father and a Christian mother. It is highly likely that he would follow his father's faith, as is the usual custom during that time in history. Altair was an assassin who accomplished many feats, helping lead the Assassin's Order to greater heights as a mentor. His codex was extremely helpful to Ezio many years later in locating the Apple of Eden artifact. Rashid. Capcom also has its own Muslim fighting game character in Rashid, a relatively new fighter first appearing in 2016's Street Fighter V. It's unknown which country he's from, but is very likely of Arab descent. Rashid utilizes his own unique fighting style derived from parkour and his ability to control winds, combining acrobatic kicks with searing tornadoes. He also wears a traditional Arab keffiyeh, as well as a modern high-tech eyepiece on his left eye, due to his affinity for the latest technology, and also to highlight his weebness. He also has his own theme song that chants his name, and that is all kinds of awesome. We figured this is a fitting way to highlight one of Street Fighter V's most overpowered characters used by a lot of fighting game pros. Faris Jawad. Unearthed, Trail of Ibn Battuta is essentially an unabashed, shameless clone of Naughty Dog's infinitely better Uncharted franchise. Developed by Saudi Arabian developer Semaphore, the first and only episode of the game to be released follows Arab fortune hunter Faris Jawad and his archaeologist sister Dania on the trail of the famous explorer Ibn Battuta. Despite being almost universally panned by critics, the developer has since announced a sequel titled Al-Rekaz, which will reportedly be developed with Unreal Engine 4. So if you want a clunkily hilarious ripoff of Uncharted with broken mechanics and ridiculous story, the game is only RM1250 on Steam. Go check it out, you'll have a laugh. Kamala Khan. Okay, we're kinda cheating with Kamala Khan here because she started out in comics. But she's going to be the highlight in the upcoming Marvel's Avengers game from Square Enix this September. And she's playable in that pretty cool Nintendo Switch Marvel beat-em-up last year, so yay! A Pakistani-American born in Jersey City, she gained polymorphing powers through Terrigen Mist. You know, the same powers the Inhumans received in the 616 universe. She's a nerdy, hyper wide-eyed MMO-playing fangirl who eventually becomes a great hero, even so far as to being an Avenger. She started from humble beginnings, as she struggled to adapt with her powers, dealing justice to the crimes in the neighborhood while also getting advice from a local Muslim preacher. Basically, the kind of new hero Marvel needs to bring in new generations of readers and comic book lovers, and also as a great marketing spiel, but let's not sour the moment. We're guessing the upcoming Crystal Dynamics game will showcase her coming of age as a superhero. We've already seen glimpses of her animated self in the Marvel cartoons, so it'll be exciting to play as her in yet another third-person superhero action game. Oh, and Capcom, if you've decided to go back to Marvel vs. Capcom, put Kamala Khan in. You know you want to. Hope you enjoyed that little trip down memory lane featuring Muslim characters in gaming. Do subscribe to us and hit that notification button for more awesome gaming vids like this one. We post regularly on Wednesdays and Fridays without fail. Have a blessed and safe Ramadan, everybody!